get you some. Oh yeah. Mate, it's lucky she can cook. Wow!
G'day lovelies, welcome back. Today we're going to be making deep fried prawns with curry sauce. For this recipe we're going to need 1 kilo of king prawns raw with their tails on. So I couldn't afford to get the king prawns, but in the freezer I had a 500 gram packet of raw prawns with their tails on, and they're I&J and they come frozen. So what I did last night is I took them out the freezer and I put them in the fridge to thaw out. So if you've got frozen ones and you want to cook them the next day, the best way to thaw them out is to put them in the fridge. If you've got frozen prawns and you want to cook them straight away, take them out the freezer, put them into a strainer, run some water over them and then leave them sit there to thaw out. As they're thawing out, toss them around a few times to get the thawed ones on the top down to the bottom and the frozen ones from the bottom up to the top. Then once they've thawed out, you need to cook them straight away. Now, even though I'm only going to use a 500 gram bag and they're not king prawns, I'm going to make this recipe as if I had a kilo of king prawns. So I'm going to make the sauce and the batter for a kilo of king prawns. So now that they've thawed out in the fridge, I'm just going to stick them in a strainer, run a bit of water over them, clean them up a bit, then I'm going to leave them in the strainer and sit them in the fridge until we're ready. This is one of those recipes where you need to get everything ready first. So I'm going to serve them up with rice. So I've got a pot of water on the stove ready to go. And we're deep frying them. So today I'm using my electric wok. And I love using the wok for things like this with batter because it destroys the oil. So if you use your wok, you only need 3 cups of oil, which is a 750ml bottle, which is a lot cheaper to throw out than if you've got a deep fryer with 2 or 4 litres of oil in it. So I'm going to get my electric wok ready with 3 cups. I'm using canola oil because that's what I've got, but you can use whatever oil you usually use for deep frying. I'm now going to turn my water on for my rice, so hopefully everything is cooked at the same time. Now we're going to make the curry sauce first, and then we're going to leave it on the stove top with a lid on, and then reheat it again at the last minute. So what we're going to need for the curry sauce, and I will write the recipe down below the video in the description as always. Olive oil or any oil you can get, 1 clove of garlic crushed or jar garlic, curry powder, sugar, corn flour. Now we only need 3/4 of a cup of chicken stock, so I've got a little one so we don't have to waste the big 1 litre one. And with the chicken stock, especially the little one where it doesn't have the screw on lid, we need to shake it up really well before we cut it open. Coconut cream and lemon juice. For the chicken stock we need 3/4 of a cup. So in 1 cup I'm going to put 1/2 cup, and in the other cup I'm going to put the 1/4 of a cup. Now into the 1/4 of a cup I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of corn flour, and then we're going to mix it in really well and set it aside. Now into a medium saucepan we want to put 1 tablespoon, I have olive oil, but you can use any oil you have. Now if you're using your fresh garlic, you want to crush 1 clove into there. If you're using jar garlic, you want 1 heaped teaspoon. Alright, we'll just set that on the stove top for a minute. Now you want to get your tablespoon measurement ready to go. You want to get white sugar ready to go and Keen's curry powder ready to go. We have 1/2 cup of stock ready to go, and we have our 1/4 cup of stock with our corn flour ready to go. Now we want to get our can of coconut cream and we want to shake it up really well, and we want to get a 1/2 cup measurement out ready to go. We want to get our thickened cream out ready to go. Now we're going to need 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So I'm using the bottled lemon juice, but if you're using fresh lemons, you want to squeeze 2 tablespoons and have that ready to go. We now want to turn our stove top onto a medium heat, and we want to start heating up the oil and garlic. Alright, now that our oil is finally starting to heat up, we now want to add 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 tablespoon of curry powder, and then with a spoon we just want to keep mixing it around for 1 minute. Now we want to give our corn flour mix a bit of a stir again. We want to add that with the 1/2 cup of chicken stock. Stir them through. We now want to add our 1/2 cup of coconut cream and stir that through. Once we've done that, we now want to turn it up a little bit and we want to bring it up to the boil. Once it starts to boil, it will thicken, and that's what we want. As soon as it thickens, in that 1.5 to 2 minutes, take it straight off the heat. Now when we say thicken, if you can see as I pour it off, it coats the spoon. That is thickened. So when you pick it up, if it's not thickened, it'll just run off and be see-through. When you can see it actually sticking to the spoon like that, it's perfect. So literally 2 minutes at the most. Now we want to add our 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and we want to stir them through. Now we want to add our 2 tablespoons of our thickened cream and we want to stir them through. Alright, hopefully I won't steam up the camera. We have now got our amazing curry sauce all ready to drizzle over our prawns. Now at this stage we want to get some paper towel on a plate and some tongs ready to go. Into a bowl we want to put some corn flour and set that aside. Now I've already chopped up a little bit of parsley, that's just to decorate the plate, you don't have to do that. Now for the batter, we're going to need self-raising flour, water, coconut cream, 1 egg and shredded coconut. Now so we don't have to wash out our measuring cups again, the first thing we want to do is measure out 3/4 cup of our shredded coconut and set that aside. Now into a jug we want to whisk our 1 egg. We want to add 1/3 cup of water and 1/4 cup of the coconut cream. Now we want to whisk them through together. Now into a bowl we want to put 1/2 cup of self-raising flour. We now want to pour our jug mixture in while whisking. And then we want to whisk it all up really well till smooth. Now I used to make these back in the early 90s at dinner parties. We really need to bring them back. And this did come out of one of my 1980 recipe books. I just don't know which one. So I taught myself to cook through recipe books. And I did a lot of recipes that weren't any good, and the ones that were good, I always wrote them down. Now we want to stir in our 3/4 cup of shredded coconut. Now we're all ready to go. I've just put my rice in. I'm just going to clean up the mess we just made, and then I'm going to turn my oil on. So I'll turn the wok onto high and then turn it down a little bit. Alrighty, cleaned up, rice is still cooking. I've got my clean drained prawns out ready to go. So I'll just show you this now before we start cooking because you won't be able to see. So we're going to pretend they're nice big king prawns. We're going to dip them into our corn flour, shake it off really well. Then we want to dip them into our mixture. Shake it off really well, like so. Make sure it's all covered. So I'll just chuck the first one in and test out if it's hot enough yet. And I'll probably only put like maybe 6 in at a time. Don't want to overcrowd it. So it might pay to get your first 6 ready and just have them sitting around the edge of the bowl. After about half a minute, just flick them over. Now prawns don't take very long at all to cook. When you're covering them in the batter, you can also use a spoon to help you cover over the whole thing and then shake them off. So once they're beautiful, I don't know if you'll be able to see, probably not in that light. Once they're a gorgeous golden brown colour, out they come. Oh my God, mate, they smell and look amazing. Oh my God, mate, what a treat. So to make it easier, I've already got my next lot ready to go. How absolutely stunning do they look. Now you want to serve them as pretty quick as you can to keep them nice and crunchy. So it'd be great if you had your rice all ready to go. And at this stage too, you want to have your sauce on a low heat so it's nice and hot to drizzle over them. So I'm just going to stop for now just so I can serve up the first lot, and then I'll go through and cook them all and see how we go with the amount of batter for this many, because there's a lot more when you're using smaller prawns. Now I just want to show you one with the crunch. Mate, yum. So I'm going to serve it up in a tiny little bowl because they're little prawns, but if you've got your big king prawns, you can get a bigger bowl. So we're going to just pretend they're king ones. So what we want to do is we want to sit them in there like so, and want to stack them up around each other. 3, depending on how many people you got, 3 or 4 king prawns. So we just want a little bit of sauce over each one, like so. Oh. And then if you're doing a dinner party and you want it nice and fancy, I'll just get a little bit of parsley and just put a little bit around the edges for the colour. Well, there you have it, lovelies. It is an absolute perler. It's no wonder I used to make these all the time back in the good old days. They are absolutely Moorish. You have to absolutely give them a crack. Now that bag of I&J frozen prawns, the 500 gram bag, at Coles they're $24, but if you wait once a month they put them for half price and they're $12 a bag, which is what I bought them for. That's one 500 gram bag made up 50 prawns. Now at the beginning I left the batter sit there for a little bit too long while I was dicking around with other stuff, so I put 2 teaspoons of water in and mixed it around, and it was perfect again. About halfway through I put roughly a tablespoon of water in and mixed it around, and it was perfect again, and it somehow managed to coat all 50 prawns. Incredibly important to put that corn flour on first so that the batter sticks. Now when I used to do them for dinner parties, I used to make my upside down pineapple and coconut cake for dessert. So because my subscribers are so awesome and understanding all the time, we're going to do the upside down pineapple and coconut cake next. So thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all in about 20 minutes. Toodles!